Reverend Powell preached a powerful word yesterday for the missionaries.
Right.
Yes.
Reverend Calvin Reynolds.
Thank you for the word last night.
Amen. Reverend Sonia Rivers, present. Reverend Dennis Roberts.
Transferred to the Augusta Conference.
Reverend Renee G. Theophil.
Any Augusta?
Reverend Gloria Walden. Reverend Velma Watts. Reverend Richard Williams.
Yeah, he's transferred to not a Methodist church, but he's supposed to come every year while he's in that position to get it approved. Mark him absent.
Reverend Ronald Williams. Reverend Anthony Yarbrough. That ends the role of the itinerant.
Are there any itinerant elders present whose name was not called? Reverend Lewis Logan, she called your name. Mark him present.
Okay.
Belinda Love. You went on the roll last year? All right, add her name to the roll, please. All right. Itinerant deacons.
She's Reverend Linda Love. Okay. All right. Reverend Shabeta Carter. Reverend Raquel Bell Carter. Reverend Dale Casey.
Darrell Casey.
Reverend G. Anthony Flowers. Reverend Michael Godwin. Reverend Gail Hawkins. Reverend Raymond Pascal.
Raymond Pascal. Now, you have here ministerial efficiency. Mm-hmm. What happened with him? When was he referred?
I think last year.
I referred him? All right, we'll come back to that. All right, next.
Okay, Reverend Sanjula Moore. Reverend Patricia Roberts Baker.
Patricia Roberts Baker. Who's her elder? Is she pastoring anywhere? Absent.
Okay. Reverend Donnie Smith. Reverend
Where's
Alicia.
Donnie Smith? Okay, this is right here. All right, present.
Okay. Reverend Alicia Wild Goose Williams. That ends the roll for the itinerant deacons.
Are there any itinerant deacons whose name was not called? All right, local elders.
Reverend Nathan Bartell. Reverend Edward Brown. Reverend Emily Buggs.
Emily Buggs. What church she belong to? Is she pastoring somewhere? What church does she belong to? Who? She belong to Live Oak? Reverend Daniels? You know Emily Buggs? Where is she? She requested what? All right, mark her as withdrawn.
Okay. Reverend Lorene Collier. Reverend Bernice Cooper.
All right.
She what?
Excuse.
Excuse. Reverend M. Diane Flowers. Reverend Dale Flukas. Reverend Gloria Gatson. Reverend Larry Grimsley. I know he's deceased.
He won't be here.
Reverend Marshall Ingram. Reverend Mae Jameson. She was absent last.
What church does she belong to? Who's the pastor there? You know anything about her?
She's having some health issues.
All right, mark her excuse. Hold on, please. Hello. Miss Regina, how you feeling? Good. You want to say hello to the South Conference? I'll tell them you said hello. We in the business session. My daughter says hello.
Okay, hello.
All right. Now, what happened to Mae Jameson?
She's
sick.
excused.
All right, excuse.
Reverend L.T. Jones. Reverend John Law. Reverend Tina Matchett. Reverend Fred Moore.
Here.
Reverend Jerry Moore.
Reverend Jerry Moore. Absent.
Okay. Reverend Carrie Page.
Carrie Page. What church you belong to? You know where she is? Oh, okay. Absent.
Reverend Annie Shelton.
We got Madge Perry.
I'm sorry, Reverend Madge Perry. Reverend Annie Shelton.
She's excused.
Okay, Reverend Carolyn Shorter.
Carolyn Shorter. What church you belong to? Mount Zion Waycross. The pastor Waycross here? All right. Mark her absent.
Reverend Betty D. Williams. Reverend Rossi Williams.
Excuse.
Oh, excuse. Reverend Timothy White. Reverend Charles Womack.
Charles Womack. All right, excuse. All right, any local elders whose name was not called? Do we have any local deacons in this conference? All right, licentiates.
Licentiates. Brother Michael Anderson. Brother Roger Pierce. Brother Asby Al Britton. Sister Elizabeth Hill.
Elizabeth Hill. Oh, okay. She's excused.
Okay. And Brother Gerard Theophil.
He's excused.
He's excused. Okay, evangelist. Oh, that ends all of the licentiates, the roll
All
call
right.
of the licentiates.
Any licentiates whose name was not called? All right. Evangelist.
Reverend Selena Elijah, she left, she gave us a letter.
She belong to St. John? You have the letter?
No, she gave it to you.
Last year?
Uh-huh.
All right. I withdrawn.
Sister Arnett Smith.
Arnett Smith. All right. Excuse.
And Sister Valeria Waddell.
You there, Pastor? All right. All
She
right.
excused?
Yes.
Okay.
All the superannuates, please stand. All of those who are retired in this conference, please stand. Any superannuates here with us? All right. All right, conference officers.
Sister Janice Stewart, lay president. Sister Ethel Wills, WMS president.
They have a new WMS president. What's her name? Sister Campbell, congratulations, Madam President.
Okay, Sister Melissa Roberts. Chelsea. YPD director. Is she here? Okay. Reverend Veronica Anderson Lewis.
She's excused.
Okay. Reverend Timothy Lewis, Sons of Allen.
He's excused.
Sister Maisie Wilson, Sunday School Superintendent.
Bishop, she has to be excused.
All right, excused.
Sister Medora Lawson, Debutante Masters.
She's present.
Brother Richard Carter.
He
I didn't hear
what?
that.
All right, in Colorado. He's excused.
Okay. And Reverend Veronica Anderson Lewis, WIM, she's excused.
What's the new YPD president's name? Nakaya. Nakiyah. Brown. Is she here? I figure she's in school, probably. She excused.
Okay.
All right, good president. All right. All right, does that complete the roll?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you so very much. All of the delegates from the Albany North District from the local churches, please stand. Presiding Elder Robert, do you certify that these are the duly elected delegates from the local churches on the Albany North District? All right, you're hereby declared seated, and you are entitled to participate in all the discussions and vote on any matter that comes before the South Georgia Conference. Thank you for making the time to be with us. You may be seated. All of the delegates from the local churches on the Donaldsonville West District, please stand. Presiding Elder Cody, do you certify that these are the duly elected delegates from the churches on Donaldsonville West District? All right, you're hereby duly seated and are able to participate in all of the discussions and vote on any matter that comes before this session of the South Georgia Conference. Thank you for making the time to be with us. You may be seated. All of the delegates from the local churches on the Valdosta South District, please stand. Presiding Elder Brinson, do you certify that these are the duly elected delegates from the churches on the Valdosta South District?
Yes, sir, Bishop.
I do declare that you are hereby certified and entitled to participate in all of the discussions and vote on any matter that comes before this session of the South Georgia Conference. Thank you for taking the time to participate and to be with us. You may be seated. Thank you so very much. All right, organization of the South Conference, presiding elders.
Yes, sir. You want me to do that now, Bishop?
Yes.
I, Patrick Tyrone Brunson of the Valdosta South District, I move that we accept the minutes with any necessary correction if there be any. Of the roll call.
All right. All right. All in favor say aye. All right. For the administration staff, who you are recommending?
Bishop Jackson, we are recommending. We're recommending Reverend Sonia Rivers as secretary, assistant secretary, Reverend Shabeta Carter, statistician, Sister Rosemary Street Nixon.
All right, you've heard the recommendations for administration staff. What is the pleasure of the body?
He concludes that I offer a motion that the administrative staff be accepted.
That's, all right, all in favor say aye. Ayes have it, motion is carried. And secretary be Reverend Sonia Rivers, assistant secretary Reverend Shabeta Carter, statistician Sister Rosemary Street Nixon. Who shall we have as the marshals?
Bishop Reverend Fred Moore will be the bishop marshal, and he's right behind you. Reverend Renette Hare, Reverend Marsha Ingram, Brother Willie Charles Clemmings, Brother Jesse Higgins, and Sister Melba Graham.
All right, you've heard the recommendations for the marshals for this conference. What is the pleasure of the body? All right, moved by Reverend Dan. Who's second? Second by Reverend Logan. All in favor say aye. Ayes have it, motion is carried. Finance Committee. All right, you've heard the recommendation for the Finance Committee. What's the pleasure of the body?
So moved.
All right. All right, probably moving second. All in favor say aye. Ayes have it, motion is carried. Conference trustees.
Bishop of Conference Trustees, we recommend the following. Reverend Dr. Ephraim Sr., Reverend Dr. Deborah Knight, Reverend Robert English, Reverend Bruce Francis, Reverend Dr. Louis Logan II, Reverend Lunette Hare, Reverend Rochelle McCray, Reverend Sonia Rivers, Reverend Mary L. Powell, Reverend Dr. Gloria Walden, Reverend Shabeta Carter, Brother Howard Cochran, Sister Chelsea Roberts, Sister Rosemary Street Nixon, Brother Jarvis White, Sister Janice Stewart, Sister Anna Weird, Sister Brenda Williams, Sister Jeanette Mitchell, Presiding Elder Kenneth Cody, Presiding Elder J.C. Roberts, and Presiding Elder Patrick Brinson, and Sister Medora Lawson. And Sister Carolyn Campbell.
All right, you've heard the recommendations for the conference trustees. What is the pleasure of the body? Is there a second? Who say aye? And seconded. All in favor say aye. Ayes have it, and the motion is carried. That concludes the roll call and organization of the annual conference. I do hereby declare that the 109th session of the South Georgia Annual Conference is in session. Before I call for the report of the Board of Examiners, is Dr. Gregory Eason in the house? Dr. Gregory Eason is the pastor of Flipper Temple Church in Atlanta. And he wants to leave Flipper Temple. He wants to go to Mozambique and Lusaka and Zambia, and he wants to go to all them places. We want to have him to get there. Anybody got a microphone for Dr. Eason? Don't have him come and address the conference. All right. Hello. We're just starting right now.
Sure.
Jump on. Okay. All right, let's hear Dr. Eason, candidate for Episcopal service. Oh.
Testing. To Bishop Reginald Thomas Jackson, our illustrious bishop, who is providing excellent leadership for us here in the 6th Episcopal District. To Mrs. Christy Davis Jackson, Esquire, our Episcopal supervisor. And to the distinguished presiding elders, Presiding Elder Brenton, Roberts, and Cody. And to my fellow pastors here in the South Georgia Annual Conference. To our lay leaders, our missionaries, RAIAC, YPDers, women in ministry, and to you, my brothers and sisters in Christ. Again, my name is Gregory Eason, and I am a candidate for bishop in 2021. I was very, very fascinated with Bishop Jackson's theme for these annual conferences, the necessity of vision. And I understand from reading The Power of Vision that visionaries have three major characteristics. Number one, they understand their ministry context. I didn't start pastoring at St. Philip Savannah, Flipper Temple, Big Bethel, and St. Paul. I started in St. Mark A.M.E. Church in Watley, Georgia, driving 2 hours and 45 minutes one way to get to that church 2 Sundays a month. I said that to say that there's no context in ministry in the A.M.E. Church that I do not understand, from the small rural areas to mid-sized congregations and to major historic congregations in our denominations. And if I'm sent to Africa, I will study that context and not bring a canned ministry to what God wants to do to bless God's people. And secondly, not only does visionaries understand the context for ministry, but they also understand the gifts for ministry. I believe that God has uniquely gifted me to serve as one of the bishops of the church. I have a gift of listening, understanding, empathy, productivity, hospitality, and respect for the people of God. And I've also spent my 36 and a half years as a pastor, chair of the Board of Examiners and other ministries of the A.M.E. Church, putting people on the right seat, on the right bus to get the work of ministry completed. And then finally, to understand that visionaries not only understand the ministry context, their gifts for ministry, but they also understand the God of ministry. I believe that God can do overly abundantly above all that we can ask or think. And I believe that nothing is impossible with God. So I'm asking you today to give me a chance to serve pastors and pastors' families. Give me a chance to serve the laity and empower them. Give me an opportunity to serve our young adults and our youth. Give me a chance to make our church a better place to worship and a better place to do ministry. So I'm asking you today to give God a chance, give the church a chance, and give Easton a chance to serve the people of God. A man of God for the people of God who will serve you and will do what God is requiring of us to do. Again, Bishop Jackson, thank you for allowing me to come to the South Georgia Conference. This is a place that is very dear to my heart. My mother and father served in this conference at St. Timothy A.M.E. Church in Valdosta and Jones Chapel A.M.E. Church in Sylvester, Georgia. And yes, I am blessed to be with you, and I'm asking not for all of your votes. All I need is just one. Somebody say just one. And we will serve the church of God in a great manner. God bless you. Thank you, Bishop Jackson, for this great opportunity to serve. We appreciate your leadership.
Thank you so much, Dr. Easton. Give him a hand. All right. You're certainly welcome. And now we have Dr. John Foster, the pastor of Big Bethel Church in Atlanta, Georgia. He also wants to leave Atlanta. Everybody wants to leave Atlanta. He wants to go to Malawi, Zimbabwe, Tanzania, and Ghana. He wants to go. We want to help him to go. And I want y'all to know one thing about Foster. Foster cares. Dr. Foster, go ahead and address this session of the South Georgia Conference.
All right, to Bishop Reginald T. Jackson, to Supervisor Jackson, to the presiding elders who are here, Elder Brinson, Elder Roberts, Elder Cody, to all the conference officers, to the delegates that are here, members, visitors, and friends. Good afternoon. My name is John Foster, and I'm here because I'm a candidate for bishop in the African Methodist Episcopal Church at our upcoming General Conference to be held in Orlando, Florida in July of 2021. I would like to take just a moment to share with you some about myself and my ministry, and to share with you where I've come from. I've served as a pastor in the A.M.E. Church for over 30 years, 8 years as pastor of Big Bethel A.M.E. Church in Atlanta, Georgia. I served not only in the 6th District, but also in the 10th and the 2nd Episcopal Districts in various capacities. God has truly blessed my ministries in the following areas, and I'll share with you just a little bit about where God has blessed me at. In the area of economic development, God has allowed me to manage over $40 million of community projects that were attracted to the church so that we can do projects in the areas of affordable housing, technology implementation, helping our communities. In the area of youth and young adult, then God has allowed us to be able to do some very innovative things with our K through 12, but also our millennial ministry. We have one of the most vibrant millennial ministries at Big Bethel A.M.E. Church right now that's anywhere in the African Methodist Episcopal Church. and in the area of technology, then God has blessed me. My secular background was in electrical engineering or computer engineering. God has allowed me to help churches all over the state of Georgia and all over this Zion and the area to be able to help churches do things like streaming, but also have after-school technology programs, things of that sort. Because of those blessings, then I believe that God has blessed my ministry to be able to do three things and to be able to help in three areas. One is technology, the other is in economic development, and the third is in youth and young adult under the banner of what we call foster cares. So very simply, I'm here today to ask for your prayers, ask for your support, and also ask for your vote. I'm just like Pastor Eason. All I'm asking for is one of your votes. And remember foster cares. Candidate number 409 at our 2021 General Conference. May God bless and keep you. Again, thank you, Bishop, and God bless. Thank you.
All right, let's give him a hand. Georgia has some fine candidates. All right, is Dr. Pearson in the house? Dr. Mark Pearson? All right, well, he wants to leave Atlanta too. All right. All right, I think that's it for the candidates. All right. Are we ready for the Board of Examiners? The supervisors joined us this afternoon looking at us on Zoom or Facebook or YouTube. Welcome, Supervisor. All right. All right, Dr. Logan and the Board of Examiners. All right. for the Board of Examiners report. Mr. Chairman, if you would, let's do it this way. You have somebody in admissions.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Call admissions first. Let's do the admissions person first.
Bishop, we have two on an addendum, but they haven't been admitted to the conference yet. Is those the ones you want?
Yes.
Report of the Board of Examiners, Bishop Reginald T. Jackson, Supervisor Christy Davis Jackson, General Officers, presiding elders, pastors, delegates, friends, and visitors of the 109th session of the South Georgia Annual Conference, the 6th Episcopal District of the African Methodist Episcopal Church. The Board has conducted interviews on February 6, 2021. The last day of class for all candidates. You will find a summation of each candidate of the Board and our recommendations. Who the members of the South Georgia Conference Board of Examiners wish to make the following report. The Board of Examiners is responsible for coordinating and developing a district-wide standardized training curriculum to prepare individuals for ordination. Our vision statement, effectively equipping servant leaders to serve a healthy church. Acts 2:41 through 47. Doctrine and Discipline of the African Methodist Episcopal Church, 2016 Board of Examiners, page 120. Section 3, Ministerial Education, Annual Conference Course of Study. B, Board of Examiners, Examination Candidates. The Board shall examine candidates at the annual conference. Within 6 months of the close of the annual conference, it shall examine all preachers for admission, advancement, and orders who has not studied the required works and received the certificate of completion from the Ministerial Training Board. If a candidate is in attendance at an approved and accredited ETS seminary, he or she shall be credited the hours completed in the theological seminary. Base for board recommendations of the conference, the board shall make its recommendation not only on the basis of academic instructional accomplishment of the candidate, but it must also discern and assess the spiritual, psychological, and moral administrative gifts of the candidate for the life and work of ministry. In proper board recommendations to the conference, the board shall not recommend to the conference any student to be advanced who has not made an average of 65 on a basis of 100 or who has fallen below 50 in the study course. At the bishop's request, we will go to the class on admissions. Our dean, our esteemed dean bishop, will bifurcate the fourth year studies class with Reverend Ephraim. Third year studies class be read by Reverend Rivers, and Reverend Lynette Hare will read second year studies.
It could come into your Gmail account and then it'll tell you instructions, either print them out or whatever.
The addendum, as you have in your revised report, Bishop.
All right.
Ms. Speckle is Carla Carter Jordan. Age, when you want to understand when we read the name,
Yes.
when we read your name and information, if you would please stand.
Come down.
Carla Carter Jordan, age 52, is married and has one child. She is a member of St. Timothy A.M.E. Church in Valdosta, Georgia, She's under the leadership of Reverend Vivian Green. She has a bachelor's and master's degree from Valdosta State University. She is currently pursuing a doctoral degree in education from Valdosta State University. She was previously ordained as an itinerant deacon in 2002. She is requesting to be reobligated to the Board of Examiners on the local track. The District Board of Examiners has recommended that she be examined and admitted as a candidate at this 109th session of the South Georgia Annual Conference.
All right, Sister Jordan, how you doing? Pretty good. Let me ask you, where have you been from 2002 till now?
I have been here in Valdosta, raising my daughter, being married,
All right,
and working at Valdosta State University.
okay.
And also working and serving in the home church.
You been at St. Timothy?
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. Why you want to go local rather than itinerant?
Well, at this time, I have a mother and father that are aging, a disabled sister, and a daughter. And raising my daughter and just received a promotion at Valdosta State. And I'm in the doctoral program of education where I'm currently at ADD.
What do you do at St. Timothy?
I support Pastor Green in all of her efforts and vision that she has. Currently, I'm teaching the Money Matters course, which is a Money Matters training course for young women in our church.
Okay. Have you given much thought to the type of ministry you think the Lord is calling you to?
I have, and it is one of support. It is one of focus into whatever His will is for me, but ultimately support, preaching, and teaching the gospel.
All right. How old is your daughter?
My daughter is 12.
Okay. Reverend Green? How you feeling? Pretty good. What do you say about Sister Jordan?
Thank you. Sister Jordan is a joy. She has served well at St. Timothy. She is an humble servant and has been supportive of the ministry since I have been there, and has not sought to interfere, but to assist in anything that we have asked her to do. She is an excellent teacher of ministry. She recently, in her humility, she didn't want me to say this, but I have a written article to prove it, was voted at Valdosta State University with the award of integrity for the staff there at Valdosta State for the year 2020. That speaks volumes that she, in the secular world, she is also has been promoted because of her integrity in her work as the Career Development Director at Valdosta State University, assisting students to map out their career choices and to be able to carry on their work there at the university. We are so happy to have her as a part of our ministry. Bishop, she can preach the horns off a billy goat, and she can sing like an angel. And we are thankful that she has come to us and agreed to come into the ministry as an ordained local at St. Timothy African Methodist Episcopal Church.
All right. Now, Sister Jordan, nobody knows more than you what kind of ministry the Lord is calling you to. And in fact, if you are absolutely convinced that the Lord is calling you to local ministry, then you ought to stay there. Have you ever given any thought to pastoring?
I have once pastored here in the South Georgia Conference, and it was a joy, an awesome group of people. But I am definitely loving my home church and wanting to see my home church grow. and develop and become even greater than what we already are.
Where are you in terms of your doctorate from Valdosta State?
I'm currently in ABD. I'm writing my dissertation.
What's the ABD?
All but the dissertation.
Oh.
I'm almost there.
I see. All right. I thought that was a new thing. All right.
All but.
All right.
All
If-
but.
One of the things is, now you were ordained an itinerant deacon in 2002. You want to change your track to be a local. What you want to do is something very, 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 very rarely ever done in the A.M.E. Church. Most folk want to change from local to itinerant. You want to change from itinerant to local. And what I'm going to do, if the motion would be that you would have your track just changed to local, you would have the status of being a local deacon for St. Timothy Church in Valdosta. If you decide next year that the Lord has spoken to you and you want to go itinerant, if I'm in the chair, you come on back, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, is there a motion to that effect?
So move, Bishop. We move that Carla Carter Jordan be reclassified as a itinerant deacon.
That her status be changed from
Change
itinerant to
itinerant
local track.
Track to a local deacon.
All right, you heard, is there a second? You've heard the motion, are you ready for the question? All in favor say aye. Thank you so much. Sister Carter, Sister Jordan, I wish you all the best. All right, and I'm sure St. Timothy is going to continue to be blessed by your service and your ministry. All
God
right,
bless.
thank you.
Bishop.
All right. Next.
The final appointee is Albert Smith Jr., age 72. He's married. He's a member of Bethlehem A.M.E. Church in Cairo, Georgia. He is under the leadership of Reverend Dr. Deborah Knight. The District Board of Examiners has recommended that he be examined and admitted as a candidate at the 109th session of the South Georgia Annual Conference.
Now, you all have here, we the Board of Examiners recommend he be admitted to the South Georgia Conference on trial in the admission studies and local relations at the discretion of the bishop. You want to be a local?
Yes, sir. Test.
You probably need to lift that mask up a little bit.
Testing. Can you hear me?
Yeah, lift the mask up, lift the front mask up. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Now, whether you are local or itinerant is up to you. Which one you think the Lord is calling you to? You know the difference?
Yes, sir.
Which one you think the Lord is calling you to?
Well, Bishop, I'm ready to serve.
Oh, let me say this.
So-
Let me say this. That's my error because I didn't look. You're 72.
Yes,
That's not even discussable.
right.
All right. So local it is. All right. Who's your pastor?
Reverend Dr. Deborah Knight.
All right. So your request, Pastor Knight? Bethlehem is requesting that the conference train Brother Smith to be a local minister for Bethlehem. Is that correct? All right. Is there a motion? Is there a second? All right. Brother Smith, you will be trained to serve as a local minister for Bethlehem, Cairo. All right. You
Yes, sir.
ushered today, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
I saw you ushering. Yeah. All right. I wish you all the best. all right?
Thank you very much.
And go and prepare yourselves to be the best local minister you can be.
Yes, sir.
God bless you. Give him a hand. All right. First year studies.
First year studies, the itinerant track, Brother Roger Pierce. Age 37. He is married and has 3 children. He is a member of Bethlehem A.M.E. Church in Cairo, Georgia, and he is under the leadership of Reverend Deborah Knight. He holds a master's degree in nursing from Thomas University, Thomasville, Georgia, and he is currently enrolled at Albany State University pursuing a degree as a nurse practitioner. He has successfully completed all coursework required. He is on the itinerant track, and he has successfully completed first year studies. Having been examined by the board, we recommend that he be passed on to the class on second year studies. His progress plan: he is an immensely powerful minister of music. He is in the class and participates during class. Prepared to attend seminary, he needs to prepare to attend seminary, and time management skills will be a plus.
Brother Pierce, how you feeling?
Doing well, Bishop.
All right. Now let me say this. You are valuable property. When I say valuable property, in the black church, the average age of a minister in the black church is about 57 or 58 years old. You are 37. You are a trained person. But at the same time, as valuable as you are a dangerous commodity. No, because you will have to have a wrestling match between you and the Lord. I gather you are a tremendous minister of music. I get the impression you are second to none. You sing
Yes, sir, Bishop.
and you play.
No, sir, Bishop.
You don't play,
Do not play,
you sing.
but I do sing.
How do you minister music but you don't play?
Well, I just wasn't blessed with that talent.
Something like myself. Yeah. No, but the reason I'm saying that is because for a lot of folk who are musically gifted, vocally gifted, but also in ministry, there's always this wrestling match. Which one you think the Lord is calling you to? Music, or you want to pastor?
Bishop, I totally understand your concern. Coming into ministry, that is definitely have been a battle. But I do believe that the Lord has called me to pastor and to minister.
Okay. How you feel about going to seminary?
Bishop, I'm optimistic about seminary. As I mentioned to my examiners with the board, I'm looking to start hopefully seminary once I complete my schooling with Albany State.
Now, I'm a little confused here. You are currently enrolled at Albany State pursuing a degree as a nurse practitioner, but you hold a master's degree in nursing? What's the difference?
My master degree that I hold in nursing is in nursing education, so I could teach on the college level nursing classes. And this degree that I'm pursuing now will allow me to practice as a provider.
Okay. All right. Well, it's my prayer that you will commit yourself to go to seminary, that you will be the best prepared minister of God that you can be. The church needs some strong, young, and let me say this to get the sisters upset, we need some good, strong, young, black men. And I'm going to emphasize black men. Watch this. All the women in ministry in here, please stand. All right. Now, if any of y'all confused, ask somebody. All right, you may be seated. All the male ministers, please stand. Now, let me tell you, the trend now in every ordination I've had since I've been a bishop, every ordination service, I am ordaining more women than men. And let me tell you something, you women are dynamite. I mean, y'all got it going on. And I want y'all to keep it going on. But I want to tell the brothers, you really got to step up. All right, you got to step up. Now, my position is I appoint the best people I got to these churches. So if the best I got are women, guess who's getting the appointment? Women. And so I'm being hard on the brothers. Now look at this brother, 37 years old, already got a master's. Church needs him. Now, when most people walk into one of our churches today and there's a male pastor, let me tell you the one of two things they're going to see when they walk in that door. They're either going to see somebody who looks like me, which means, that's what I mean. Look at these brethren. Or gray. Now that's it. So so brother, you are a valuable commodity. And I hope you will take it seriously. All right? I'm going to hold you wherever I am. I'm going to hunt you down and I'm going to say, where is that Roger Pierce? So where is he? All right?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna hunt you down. All right. The recommendation is that he be passed to the class on second-year studies. What is the pleasure of the body? All right. Is there a second? All in favor say aye. Ayes have it. God bless you, Brother Pierce. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
All right, now, if you will call all of those in first-year class who are locals. Ashby Albritton,
Yeah, Ashby Albritton.
together the end of next week, because I'll be in Southwest before. Okay. Call all of those in the first year class.
Elizabeth Hill, Willie Jackson, Gerard Theophile. Brother Asby L. Britton is age 63. He is single with no children. He is a member of Bethel A.M.E. Church, Quitman, Georgia. He is under the leadership of Reverend Renee Theophile. He is on the local track to become a local elder. He has successfully completed all his coursework requirements. He has exhibited a functional knowledge of the class of first year studies. Having been examined by the board, we recommend that he be passed on to the class of second year.
All right. Is Elizabeth Hill here? All right, she's excused. All right. Is Willie Jackson here? And they from Willacoochee. How far Willacoochee from here? Dr. Bess, you know anybody from Willacoochee? Dr. Hall, you know anybody from Willacoochee? All right, I'm going to ask for a motion that Brother Albritton be passed to the class on second year studies, and Sister Hill, she's excused, and I understand she's doing a wonderful job at Grant Chapel in Moultrie. All right, if we have a motion that those two be passed to the class on second year studies. Is that second? All in favor say aye. Ayes have it, motion carried. And Brother, let me say to you, let me ask Elder Brinson if you would amend that motion to include Brother Theophile. He's excused absent. And who seconded that motion? All right, if y'all would amend that to include Brother Theophile. All right. All right. All in favor say aye. All right, so Brother Albritton, Sister Hill, Brother Theophile be passed to the class on second year studies for preparation for local ministry, and Brother Jackson will just be held in the class on first year studies. My brother, I wish you well as you prepare for local ministry. All right? Everything going all right?
Yes, sir.
Didn't your pastor preach today?
Yes, she preached.
Did you help her?
I tried to coach.
All right, thank you so much. All right, you may be seated. All right. Third year studies. Did we do Michael Anderson? Oh. Wait, I'm gonna have y'all here, one person. See, this Augusta crowd want to leave, but I'm gonna hold them for a little while. Look at them, all of them all dressed in suits. Check them out. And mask, my. The The Lone Rangers. All right. Second year study, Brother Michael Anderson.
Brother Michael Anderson.
Brother Anderson here?
Yes, sir. He's here.
All right. How you doing, Brother Anderson?
Brother Michael Anderson is age 39. Birthday is 12/21/1981. He is married with 5 children. He is the member of Bethlehem A.M.E. Church under the leadership of Reverend Dr. Deborah Knight. He is currently enrolled in attending Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College in Bainbridge, Georgia. He is working toward his bachelor degree, and he now has 88 credit hours. He is retired from the United States Marine. He has been examined by the board. We recommend that he be ordained an itinerant deacon and will be passed on to the 3rd years of study. We further recommend he complete his bachelor degree and immediately enrolled in the Eternal Certificate Program. His progress plans.
Oh, you can hold on that. Brother Anderson, how you feeling?
Doing good, sir.
How much further you have to go to get your agricultural college degree?
About 12 more classes, sir. About 12 more classes.
12 more classes. How long were you in the United States Marines?
4 years.
All right. You know, usually I'm very reluctant to ordain anybody a deacon. The discipline gives the bishop discretion, but I'm usually very reluctant to give anybody that deacon's ordination who does not have a bachelor's degree. You're pursuing yours. But I'm also moved by the fact that you retired from the United States Marines. How you feel about the Lord calling you to ministry?
Feel very good, sir.
You want to pastor?
Yes, sir.
When last time you preached?
A month ago.
You're that a Fort Valley State University mask?
Yes, sir. My son attends to Fort Valley State. It's a
Isn't that
senior.
right?
Yes, sir.
Reverend Knight?
Yes, sir.
Dr. Knight, is there anybody in that church not in ministry?
Yes, sir, we have 3.
Oh, I see. Tell me about Brother Anderson.
Brother Anderson is a wonderful young man. I've watched him grow over the period of years that I've been at Bethlehem, which I'm coming up on my 9th year. And I am proud to say, through all kinds of adversity, Brother Anderson has pulled himself by the bootstraps. And he's told the Lord that he's willing to go all the way. We've seen that on the Board of Examiners. The instructors can tell you that he has matured so much over a period of time. And it is with admiration to this process of the Board of Examiners and to the A.M.E. Church that we make this recommendation for Brother Michael Anderson.
Now, Brother Anderson, I'm saying the same thing to you that I said to Brother Pierce. You're a valuable commodity in this church. A young black male. And I'm really, really praying that you will really commit yourself to being the best servant of God you can be. You know, people are going to discover. I'm preaching a series of sermons this year, and I think from the sermons, people are going to discover that I'm very troubled about the ministry of our church. And I want you to give me some encouragement.
Yes, sir.
You and Brother Pierce. All right?
Yes, sir.
And I hope the Lord just stays on you.
He does.
And Brother Pierce.
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm going to, the motion is, well, the recommendation is that you be ordained an itinerant deacon. It also is that you will immediately enroll after you finish your bachelor's in the Turner program. Is there a motion? What's the motion? All right, is there a second? All right, you've heard the motion. Are you ready for the question? All in favor will say aye. All right, Brother Anderson, please give me some encouragement.
Yes, sir.
All right, God bless you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. All right, Shangela Moore. How you feeling, Reverend Shangela? All right, now, I'm not going to hold you. The recommendation is that you will be passed to the class on full-field studies. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
All right, is there a motion? Is there a second? All right, and I'm going to hold you to great things. If not, I'm going to be very upset. All right, all in favor say aye. All right, God bless you. All right. All right, third year, next, fourth year.
Yes, sir. Fourth year studies itinerant track. Reverend Patricia Roberts Baker, age 65, 4/21/1954, married with no children. She is pastor in St. Paul A.M.E, Willacoochee, Georgia. She was selected a candidate for Turner Certificate Program, and to the best of the Board of Examiners' knowledge, she did not attend the classes. Previous records show that she was a member of the Board of Examiners in the Old Georgia Conference. She did not answer the roll this conference year. The board tried on several occasions by phone calls and emails and spoke to her presiding elder as well with no success.
All right, now, Elder Cody, she's on your district? Huh? She's on your district. All right, have you heard from her all year? Does she attend your meetings? She's an itinerant. Deacon. She was ordained in the Georgia Conference. That's before I got here. Yeah, I'm sure it was. Now let me say this now, and I asked Reverend Hall, who's the chair of the Augusta Conference, to stay because I want to send a message. Dr. Easton just left from Atlanta North. Now, again, y'all gonna discover that at this stage, I'm very concerned about how seriously people take ministry in this church. And so I just want the other boards of examiners to understand what it's going to be like when I get there. All right? So tell them rest in peace until I get there. All right? Now, you all tried to call her?
Yes, sir.
What happened? You want to talk to me about her? You better come talk to me now. Be too late after this. All right, let me say this. She will remain in the class on fourth-year studies. Right now, she is a pastor at St. Paul Willacoochee. At this conference, she would get a temporary appointment, and I will decide by the planning meeting whether she has an appointment at all. All right? All right, next.
Reverend Shabeta Carter, age 50, 11/22/70. She is married, has 4 children. She is currently serving as pastor of Little Bethel A.M.E., a church, Cairo, Georgia, and St. John A.M.E. Church, Boston, Georgia. She is pursuing a bachelor's degree from the University of Phoenix. She has successfully completed the Turner Certificate Program. She has successfully completed all coursework requirements for the Board of Examiners.
Before I come to her, Sister Stewart, Sister Rosemary Stewart Nixon. Street, I'm sorry, I'm changing your name. I'm sorry, Evangelist. If you would, see if you can reach Reverend Baker, and I want to talk to her, not right now, but all right. Reverend Card, I've had a chance to watch you since I've been in Georgia. And I do watch preachers. I think as a bishop, it's my job to watch preachers. I know when people are here and when they're not here. I know when they leave, when it's offering time, and come back when offering's over. Okay, I do. I watch preachers. I watch preachers. And I think you are very committed to ministry. I'm very pleased that you did attend all the courses in the Turner Certificate Program. And again, one of the reasons is I do not want students to unnecessarily go into a whole lot of debt and not be effective in ministry. I'm pleased that you are pursuing your completing your bachelor's from the University of Phoenix. I wish you were finished, but you're not. But I'm not going to hold that against you. One of the things I do think that a person's track record ought to have some weight. You show up to everything in this conference. You've been faithful whatever we've asked you to do. And so I wrestled over this last night. And I decided I'm not going to hold it against you that you are completing your bachelor's. I want you to complete it.
Yes, sir.
All right? All right. Who's the next one?
Reverend Raquel Carter.
Let him wipe off that microphone. All right, Raquel Carter, how you feeling?
Well, Bishop.
All right, likewise, I've had a chance to watch you since I've been in Georgia. And I appreciate the fact that you've carried yourself well, you show up, you participate. You've been passing how many years?
Total 12 years.
You've been passing for 12 years. How long you been an itinerant deacon?
Roughly 12 years as well, Bishop.
My. So I'm glad that you have completed the Turner Certificate Program and successfully completed it. Dr. Green and Dr. Cynthia McDonald have commended you for your work. And you have your bachelor's degree. And again, you have started well. I want you to finish well.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, next.
Reverend Darrell Casey.
Reverend Darrell Casey. You ain't got to go that far. I know it's an itinerant church, but don't go too far. Reverend Casey, how you doing?
I'm well, Bishop.
All right, again, you're another one I've had a chance to watch, and I appreciate the fact that you have been diligent. You have your bachelor's degree from Valdosta State University and a professor at Coastal Pond Technical. What do you teach at Coastal Pond Technical College?
I teach adult education and I also teach college math in the evening.
College math?
Yes, sir. Algebra.
You know, I got sent to the office one time when I was in high school. I was in an algebra class, and Dr. Nyman was the instructor, and we were studying the Pythagorean theorem. And I asked Dr. Nyman, I said, Dr. Nyman, what does the Pythagorean theorem have to do? How's it going to help me when I get out of school? And he sent me to the office. And Dr. Brill was the principal. He said, what are you doing here? And I told him. And he sent me back to the class and said he wanted to know the same thing. So you were doing wonderful till you just said you taught algebra.
Yes, sir.
But I'm going to learn that. I don't know that Pythagorean theorem yet, but I'm going to talk with you about it.
Amen. Don't hold it against me.
Yeah. I don't know what it got to do with out in this world, but anyway. All right, but you have done well. I appreciate the way you carry yourself and your determination for ministry. All right, next.
Thank you, Bishop.
Oh, you're
Michael
welcome.
Godwin, age 54, pastor of Mount Olive A.M.E. Church, Roxton, Georgia. Has completed the term certificate program. Recommend that he be elected or ordained an itinerant elder.
All right, Brother Godwin, how you be?
Fine, Bishop.
How things in Mount Olive?
It's great.
How long you been there?
10 years,
How long you been itinerant deacon?
7 years.
Now tell the truth. Now tell the truth. You weren't going to seminary.
No, sir.
You see, and I don't want to put people in a position where they're not going to be honest, but you committed to ministry.
Yes, sir.
How did you like the certificate program at Turner?
It was great.
Did you learn something?
Yes, sir.
Dr. Green, a good instructor?
Yes, sir.
You feel you ready to press on?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. All right. Keep up the good work.
Yes, sir.
All right. Next.
Gail Hawkins, age 56, member of St. Peter A.M.E. Church in Camilla, successfully completed the Turner Certificate Program. Board recommends that she be elected and ordained an itinerant elder at the 109th session.
Sister
South
Hawkins,
Georgia Conference.
how you feeling?
I'm great, sir.
All right. Reverend Hare's your pastor?
Yes, she is.
She a good pastor?
Yes, she is.
If she wasn't here, would you say that?
Yes, I would.
Okay. What do you do with Camilla?
I teach high school math.
All right, I'm going to stop while I'm ahead. All right. So you have a bachelor's and a master's in math education.
Yes, sir.
How long you been retired?
This is my first year.
Okay.
Actually, I'm semi-retired. I still teach half a day.
Okay.
They just won't let me go.
They won't let you go. Reverend Hare, you want to say anything about her?
Yes, she's a jewel, bishop. She's a jewel to St. Peter, and she'll be a jewel to the church in Senator. She's wonderful with people. She helped diligently at that church, and I thank God that she was there for me.
How long you been a deacon?
About 7 years.
I see. All right. So you're not pastoring anywhere?
Not right now.
No, that's the key word, not right now. You have no idea how well you've spoken. All right? All right, thank you for what you've done. All right? Next, skip over Donnie Smith and go down to Alicia Wild Goose Williams.
Alicia Williams, age 46, currently pastors Cedar Springs A.M.E. Church. She has successfully, board recommends that she has successfully completed the Turner Certificate Program, that she be elected and ordained an itinerant elder of the 190th session of South Georgia Conference.
Reverend Williams, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing tolerably well. How are things at Cedar Springs?
Things are well. Things are well. We're doing better. We had quite a few of our members that was affected by COVID, and they're recovering, but God is good. Amen.
Now, this Grady County, what is that near?
We are probably about 10 minutes from Cairo. 10 minutes from Cairo. We're almost in Wiggum.
Georgia got too many counties. Where's Wiggum, Georgia?
Wiggum is between Cairo and Bainbridge. Well, Cairo and Climax. We're on 84, Highway 84.
And what county is that in?
It's Grady.
How long you been a deacon?
I've been a deacon 6 years.
6 years. What church you come out of?
I pastor my home church, Cedar Springs.
You pastor in your home church?
Yes, sir.
How you get along with the people?
I love them. They're accustomed to me. That's where I got my training from, and was brought up there. So I was received well when I was sent to Cedar Springs.
You're in an unusual situation. Usually people go back to pastor their home church. They have not all that easy, because they just know you as Alicia Williams. They don't know you as Reverend. All right, but it's going well.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you so much. All right, now, the recommendation is that these 6 persons would be elected and ordained itinerant elders. Now, let me say this. I'm putting a lot of stock in y'all, all right? Because the certificate program has given y'all a chance to do what you otherwise would not be able to do, all right? And I really want you to serve God and the church well. We desperately need it. And I've had a chance to watch all of y'all during these 4.5 years I've been here. So I'm putting a lot of stock in y'all. An awful lot of stock. All right? All right. Is there a motion?
Bishop, I offer a motion that the 6 persons standing before you be elected and ordained an itinerant elder at the 109th session of South Georgia A.M.E. Conference.
All right, probably moving second. All in favor will say aye. All right, God bless you. All right, God bless you. God bless you now. You're welcome. God bless you. All right, God bless you. God bless you.
Bishop, if I may.
All right, we have one more. Yes. Where's your unreadiness? 2, but they're pursuing them. No, it was done at the discretion of the bishop, and in fact, one of the things the bishop was trying to do is clear up where you've got people who've been itinerant deacons for 10 or 12 years. And they're not going to go to seminary. That's what we did. We created the Turner Certificate Program, where there are core courses which they have to take and complete. But the fact of the matter is they're not going to go to seminary. And the discipline, and this is a sensitive thing to me, because in 2000 I wrote the law that talked about seminary education, and I had the word in there, shall have a seminary degree. And Bishop Frank Curtis Cummings. And y'all know how Bishop Cummings, he said, no, brother, no. You should put the word should rather than shall. And then Bishop Garnett Henning, who was the presiding officer during that session of the General Conference, came and complained because in some parts of the South, there were no seminaries nearby, and that students were not able to work and go to seminary. For example, if you were in Atlanta, that gave you, Atlanta had a number of seminaries. But for example, in Louisiana or in Mississippi, they did not have seminaries where people were able to work and go, and so that's how the should got in there. And to be frank with you, looking back on when I was there, I was not happy about it. But looking back on it now, I do think they did the correct thing. That's number one. Number two, though, is the way it is now, between what our students are paying for undergrad and need school loans, then you go to seminary and you need another loan. And what really weighed on me was 2 years ago, we had one student who had over $100,000 in school loans. And the fact of the matter is, you're not going to be effective in ministry if you're over $100,000 with these school loans. In fact, President Biden is a good friend of mine, and I agree with him on 95% of the stuff. The one thing I am having a little odds with him now, I'm in agreement with those who say they need to wipe off $50,000 of your school loan. I'm not sure 10,000 helps you much. But I also knew that these students were not going to seminary, and no need for them to be itinerant deacons for the rest of their ministry. So, all right. All right, Brother Smith.
Reverend Donnie Smith, age 60, 4159. He is married and has 2 children. He is currently pastoring at Bethel A.M.E. Church, Fitzgerald, Georgia. He has successfully completed the Turner Certificate Program. He has successfully completed all coursework on the Board of Examiners.
All right. Brother Smith, how you feeling?
I'm great, Bishop.
I tell you why I separated you from the rest. And I know you were wondering why.
No, I wasn't.
You weren't?
No, sir.
Why did I hold you from the rest?
I don't know why, but it didn't bother me any.
Okay. Tell me how you feel about pastoring a church and having to pay connectional and Episcopal District budgets.
I pay the connectional, we pay the Episcopal. Don't have any problem doing that.
Okay, because I was concerned because one of the elders reported to me that you had some concern. You used to be a lay president?
Yes, sir.
Okay, as a lay president, that you had some concerns about whether churches ought to pay the budget. And I said, oh, I need to talk with him separate from the rest.
I never made a statement to that effect, Bishop.
Okay, but you have no problem with the connection first let me back up and say this too. As a bishop, I'm not going to be on any pastor for not paying what the church is not authorized for you to pay. What I'm not going to do, and I've said this to the elders privately, so I say it publicly. One thing, when I came to Georgia, one of the things I kept hearing from people, I would go to different meetings, go to preacher churches, and I would hear people say, well, Bishop, they're telling us that the bishop is asking for it. I hadn't heard of some of the stuff I was asking for. And so I made out a sheet. And so this bishop is not going to punish you for them wanting you to pay something that's not required of you to pay. So now, if you say you don't have a problem with your connection on the Episcopal District budget, Brother Smith, I want you to know you're all right with me.
Thank you.
All right. Now let's have a motion.
Yes, sir. Having been examined by this board, we recommend that he receive a certificate of completion and be elected and ordained an itinerant elder.
All right. Is there a motion? Or is there a second? All right. You've heard the motion. Are you ready for the question? All in favor will say aye. All right, God bless you, Brother Smith. You'll be able to join the rest of them. All right, thank you. All right, is there anybody else? Who else we got? Oh, yes, my Marshall. Brother Moore, come on around here. All right, give me the recommendation for Brother Moore.
Brother Fred Moore, age 66, married and has 3 children. He is pastor in St. John A.M.E. Church, Donaldsonville, Georgia. He is also pastor in New Prospect A.M.E. Church, Blakely, Georgia. He is a local elder and under the leadership of Presiding Elder Kenneth Cody. Presiding Elder Cody has recommended to Bishop Jackson and the Board of Examiners that Reverend Moore be reclassified on the itinerant track. It is further recommended that Reverend Moore attend Turner's certificate program and after successful completion of coursework, he be ordained in the African Methodist Episcopal Church at the call of the 110 South Georgia Annual Conference. Itinerant deacon.
Reverend Moore, how long you been a local elder? All right, now, Reverend Moore is a local elder. And again, one of the things that's hard to do is to go back and try to provide leadership to your home church. He has been a supply pastor at St. John Church in Donaldsonville for a number of years in a very difficult situation. A very difficult situation, and he's done the best he could. And I'm one of those who thinks he can serve the church better someplace else. He has given good evidence of his leadership, and one of the things you discover, some places are just tough, and one of them is home. Jesus said, a prophet is without honor. Try going home. It's not always easy. And I think he would do well as an itinerant. If this motion is approved, he would become an itinerant deacon. He would be required to attend the Turner Certificate Program, and I'm not sure what happened at the 110th, but either the 110th or the 111th South Conference, because see, in the A.M.E. Church, itinerant ministers have to retire at age 75. So that's where we are. This session, we let you meet with them, but then if they need you, they give you something else. All right, what is the motion?
Bishop, we make a motion that Reverend Fred Moore be reclassified as a itinerant deacon after he has completed the certificate program at Turner Seminary.
All right, is there a second? Second. All right. Any unreadiness? All in favor will say aye. Aye. Y'all said they're mighty weak. All in favor will say aye. Aye. Thank you so very much, Brother Moore. God bless you now. Keep up the good work. All right.
She's on the phone. I didn't know who to call her back.
I'll call her right after this session. Is there anybody else?
Nobody else, Bishop, but just,
All right, Mr. Chairman, any closing remarks?
just closing remarks, and would you mind this special recommendation?
Go ahead.
All right, and I see that Reverend Flowers wants to address.
Reverend Flowers? Into what?
Reverend Flowers was not a part of the Board of Examiners for this year.
Any reason why? What are you, a deacon? All right, was he in the institute?
No, sir. At the 108th session, it was our understanding that he asked for a leave.
All right, then if you're itinerant, you ask for leave, then to come off leave, you have to come back and ask the conference to return you to active status. That's what you want to do?
Yes, Bishop. I was not informed to come back to the Board of Examiners, and when I called, I was there to contact the chairperson, which I did.
Okay.
I was not under the understanding that I was not a part of Board of Examiners for this year.
Well, let me say this. It really doesn't affect because all the Board of Examiners would have done would be to make a recommendation that you be returned to act. See, for example, when you've requested not to be active, then that means you couldn't receive an appointment or anything else. When you come back and request that you be placed back on active status, then you can begin an appointment or anything else. So that's what you have to do here now. So make Reverend Flowers request to be placed back in the active ministry status. Is there a motion to that effect?
I move, Bishop, that Reverend Anthony be returned to active ministry status.
All right, you've heard the motion. Are you ready for the question? All in favor say aye. All right, on the roll, return him to the active status. All right, thank you.
Bishop, thank you so much for the opportunity to make this recommendation and to then give subsequent commendations. Given the constant challenges facing African Americans today, continual resurgence and the tolerance of supremacist ideations and legislations of brutality, the pandemic-driven isolation and grief, enduring and expanding employment market shifts, fiscal pressures due to economic shifts, Dean Knight and I and the board recommend that an approved introduction to pastoral care course be added to the curriculum of the Board of Examiners throughout the 6th Episcopal District. Further, that every Turner Seminary certificate program enrollee be required to complete at least one unit of clinical pastoral education where and whenever possible. Just a recommendation. And then,
all right. On that, I'm referring that to Dr. Green at Turner and Dr. Cynthia McDonald, who is the head of the grant program we got. The 6th District got $1 million grant from the Lilly Endowment for the development of ministries, particularly local, rural ministries, but also for the clinical psychology portion. So I'll refer that to them and they can work out the details of it.
thank you. Thank you, Bishop.
All right.
And then finally, I just want to commend the instructors of the Board of Examiners, or any other instructors who are, well, Reverend Rivers, for an outstanding and exemplary commitment to our vision, which was to thoroughly and effectively equip servant leaders for a healthy church. I'm grateful to have had that opportunity, and I want to also give special commendations to our dean. I think Dean Deborah Knight did an outstanding job as dean for her first time, and I just wanted to give her, ask the 109th session to give her a hand of commendation and appreciation. Thank you, Bishop.
All right, let me, on behalf of the South Georgia Conference, let me thank the chair, the dean, and the members of the Board of Examiners of the South Georgia Conference for the work you have provided this year to train and prepare our students for ministry in African Methodist Episcopal Church. You've done a fine job. and I think you ought to give them a hand. Thank you so much. Dr. Hall, y'all excuse now, but when I come to Augusta, I know y'all gonna have all this worked out. Oh, yeah. Because y'all gonna talk about it in the car on the way back to Augusta. Which gentleman is it? Flowers. Flowers. Let me say this too. Let me make a correction. Reverend Flowers, what I did, I made a mistake. And thank you, Reverend Ephraim. That should not go for that Board of Examiners. That should go for ministerial official. They make a recommendation back. So Reverend Ephraim is the chairman. So get with Reverend Flowers so y'all can make a recommendation. We can officially do it. All right? All right.
With your permission, Bishop, we'd like to recommend Susan Buxton and maybe Samuel Cooper for the certificate of theology program along with Gerald Smith. We think they
Susan Buxton.
Yeah, we had her interview with.
She passes out in Tampa.
That was not that one.
Oh.
Susan. We got a Susan Blackson down in Augusta.
Sharon.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Okay.
down in that conference, and we'd like to recommend her.
When I get to the conference, y'all do that.
Okay.
I thought you'd get ready to take Sister Buxton back. All right, now, Elder Cody, are y'all ready to report? We will now have the report of the Donaldsonville West District. We've given each presiding elder district 40 minutes to make their district report. We're going to have the Donaldsonville West. This is going to be on the screen. Is my new missionary president here? Come down, please. My wife told me to make sure that I speak to you personally, so I said, let me just invite my president down here. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Anything I can do to help, let me know.
A district that encompasses 7 counties in South Georgia. The district consultant, Freddie Cody, and I are delighted to serve the Donaldsonville West District. The district has 24 churches, 13 pastors. All pastors are being paid. Total members, 678. Active members, 430. Total monies raised for all purposes, $573,063. Now you will hear from the pastors.
Bishop Reginald Thomas Jackson, presiding prelate, Supervisor Christy Davis Jackson, Supervisor, host presiding elder, Reverend Patrick Brinson, Associate presiding elders, Reverend J.C. Roberts and Reverend Kenneth Cody, my beloved husband, Terry Edward Daniels Sr., pastors, delegates, laity, missionaries, members of the Board of Examiners, members, friends of the 109th session of the South Georgia Conference. I am Lily Smith Daniels, pastor of our Community Church in the city of Donaldsonville, Georgia, or in the Donaldsonville West District. Bishop Jackson, we are thankful for the opportunity to serve as pastor and allow the Community Church for the conference year 2021. Terry Sr. and I really appreciate the opportunity that you and President Cody have given us. Funds raised for the local church, $130,000. Indebtedness, $118,000. Church treasury balance is $400. Our local church budget is $128,000. Insurance, $1,176,000. Liability, $3 million. All total, $80,000. The church loan is current and up to date. The members on the roll, 145 active members, 50, 10 youth. Pastor and presiding elder are being paid. Again, Bishop, presiding elder Cody, we really appreciate the opportunity to serve the Lord of the church family. God bless you. Have a great annual conference. To God be the glory. To Bishop Reginald T. Jackson, to our Episcopal Supervisor, Christy Davis Jackson, to our host presiding elder, Patrick Brinson, to our associate presiding elders, J.C. Roberts and Kenneth Cody, and to my presiding elder, Kenneth Cody, to all the pastors, delegates, and to all that make up this 109th session of the South Georgia Annual Conference. I am Reverend Sonia M. Rivers, pastor of Wesley Chapel A.M.E. Church in the city of Blakely on the Donaldsonville West District. Number of conversions, 2. Number of baptisms, none, due to the church being closed temporarily. Number of accessions, 2. Members on roll, 77. Active, 65. Funds raised this conference year, $87,700. I have been paid regularly. All property is insured for $895,000. All obligations have been met. We have met some challenges this year due to the COVID virus, but God is faithful. We were able to function as a church through virtual worship services, meetings, Bible studies, Sunday school, and were able to have outreach ministries. We were able to participate in the Get Out and Vote motorcade in Blakely, Georgia. And I believe that through your leadership, Bishop Jackson, and the leadership of the presiding elders of the 6th Episcopal District, we were able to deliver 2 Democratic senators from the state of Georgia. Georgia turned blue. In closing, I am looking forward to seeing my God eradicate this virus so we will be able to get back to church. And I look forward to continuing God's kingdom building from Wesley Chapel. To God be the glory.
To Bishop Reginald T. Jackson, Episcopal Supervisor Christy Davis Jackson, Post Presiding Elder Patrick Brinson, Associate Presiding Elders J.C. Roberts and Kenneth Cody, pastors, delegates, laity, missionaries, members of the Board of Examiners, members and friends of the 109th session of the South Georgia Annual Conference. I am Reverend Calvin Reynolds, pastor of Nelson Chapel A.M.E. Church in the city of Bainbridge, Georgia, on the Donaldsonville West District. Bishop Jackson, I am thankful for the opportunity to serve as pastor of the Nelson Chapel A.M.E. Church for the 2020-2021 conference year. This is our report. The number of conversions, the number of baptisms, and the number of accessions is 0. Members on the roll, we have 65, but 35 are active. Funds raised this conference year, $74,428. Pastor is being paid regularly. All property is insured for $2.2 million. All obligations have been paid, and we have a mortgage in the amount of $56,700. $644. This past year, beginning at March 22nd, 2020, we began to shelter in place, practicing social distancing and wearing a mask in accordance with the CDC guidelines. We reopened the church the third Sunday in June of 2020 and closed again in July. We are having service virtually by Zoom and pre-conference call. We started having virtual Sunday school the second Sunday in January. We have Bible study every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. In closing, we are enjoying the work with the Nelson Chapel A.M.E. church family. We pray that it is the will of God and Bishop Jackson that we return to Nelson Chapel to continue the work we have begun. Thank you. That ends our report.
Annual conference report. Annual Equalizer Power of City Spring Circuit in the city of J.P. Georgia on the Donaldsonville West District. Bishop Jackson, I am thankful for the opportunity to serve as pastor of the City Spring Circuit for the year 2020-21. Number of converts, none. Number of baptism, none. Number of sessions, none. Members on the road, 94/74. Foreign embraces, stop year, $99,672. Pastors being paid regular, yes. All property is insured for all three churches with full coverage. All obligations has been paid. This has been a wonderful year, online and in person. Thank you. May God bless and keep you his offer.
Bishop Reginald T. Jackson, Episcopal Supervisor Kristen Davis Jackson, Host Presiding Elder Patrick Grimson, Associate Presiding Elder J.C. Roberts, Pastors, Delegates, laity, missionaries, members of the Board of Examiners, members and friends of the 109th session of the South Georgia Annual Conference. My name is Presiding Elder Kenneth Cody. I have been supplying Ebenezer A.M.E. Church since September when the pastor, the Reverend Grimsley, an outstanding dedicated man of God, succumbed to COVID-19. Before his death, we were discussing the protocols for reopening the church. I believe Ebenezer will be ready to reopen soon. Number of conversions, 0. Number of baptisms, 0. Number of accessions, 0. Ebenezer has 28 members on roll, 14 active members, 13 adults, 1 youth. Fund raised $9,500. Church has $11,397 in the bank. Pastor Grimsley was paid $7,800. The presiding elder is being paid, and all conference claims have been paid. Property is insured for $350,000. The church does not have a mortgage. Bishop Jackson, it has been a blessing to serve this dedicated church family. We have virtual worship services, and thank you for this opportunity.
Greetings in the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, in the name of his Father Jehovah, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Bishop Reginald T. Jackson, Episcopal Supervisor, Krista David Jackson, Host Presiding Elders Patrick Brinson, Associate Presiding Elders J.C. Roberts and Kenneth Cody, Pastors, Delegates, laity, missionaries, members of the Board of Examiners, members of Friends, members and friends of the 109th session of the South Georgia Annual Conference. I am Reverend Anthony Yarrow, pastor of Newberry A.M.E. Church and Mount Episcopal A.M.E. Church in Donaldsonville, Georgia and Jacob, Georgia. On the Donaldsonville West District, Bishop Jackson, I am thankful for the opportunity to serve as pastor of Newberry A.M.E. Church and also Mount Episcopal A.M.E. Church for the 2021 conference year. We have number of conversions, 0. We have number of baptisms, 0. Number of accessions, 0. Members on roll at Newberry, we have 47 members. At Mount Pierce, we have 4 members, and all of them are active. Funds raised for the conference year, we have $61,586.35 raised at Newberry A.M.E. Church. At Mount Pierce A.M.E. Church, we had $800 that was raised. The pastor is being paid regularly. All property is insured. All obligations have been paid. We have no mortgages at either church. We continue to have worship service each Sunday at 10 o'clock. We have participated in outreach programs to help support the community during COVID-19, during this pandemic. We are not back in the buildings physically, but we continue to have church. We plan to go back in the church when COVID-19 calms down, or we get all of our members almost vaccinated. So at this particular time, we're still having worship service by phone conference. And we've had a great year in spite of. In closing, we thank you, Bishop Jackson and the other Cody, for the opportunity to serve and worship at Newberry A.M.E. Church and Mount Pierce A.M.E. Church. Thankfully, we pray that God will continue to bless us and that God will continue to bless you all. We thank you.
Bishop Reverend T. Jackson, Episcopal Supervisor Christy Davis Jackson, and the established protocol of the 109th session of the South Georgia Annual Conference. I am Minister Elizabeth Hill, a supply pastor at Branch Chapel A.M.E. Church in Monroe, Georgia, on the Donaldsonville West District. Bishop Jackson, I am thankful for the opportunity to serve as a supply pastor at Branch Chapel for 2020-21 conference year. The number of conversions, 0. The number of baptism, 0. Number of sessions, 1. Members on the roll, 12. Active members, 6. Funds raised, $26,041. Is the pastor being paid regular? Yes. All property insured? Yes. All obligations paid? No. Do you have a mortgage? The amount owed, $120,000. Our ministry that we have at Grand Chapel, we have daily games and dinners. We also participate with the missionaries for soap drive. We also are collecting socks for the local rehabilitation centers to supply residents with socks. In closing, once again, Bishop Reverend T. Jackson, I am thankful for the opportunity and Elder Kenny Cody to serve at Grand Chapel, Monroe, Georgia.
Bishop Reverend T. Jackson, Episcopal Supervisor Christy Davis Jackson, Host Presiding Elder Patrick Bresson, Associate Presiding Elder J.C. Roberts and Kenneth Cody, pastors, delegates, laity, missionaries, members of the Board of Examiners, members and friends of the 109th session of the South Georgia Annual Conference. I am Reverend Shangela Moore, pastor of Jerusalem A.M.E. Church in the city of Blakely, Georgia, on the Donaldsonville West District. Bishop Jackson, I am thankful for the opportunity to serve as pastor of Jerusalem A.M.E. Church for the conference year of 2020-2021. Numbers of conversions, 0. Numbers of baptism, 0. Numbers of accessions, 0. Members on roll, 13. Active members, 13. Fundraising this conference year, $16,893. Pastors is being paid regularly, yes, $400. All property is insured. Church, $423,000. Fellowship Hall, $247,000. All obligations has been paid in full. We have no mortgage. Description of ministry: loving God, loving God's people, and living God's word. In closing, Jerusalem A.M.E. Church is a church that prays and have faith in God. They are supportive of the pastor, the church, the sick, the poor, and the needy. Thank you again, Bishop Reverend T. Jackson, for allowing me to serve as pastor of Jerusalem A.M.E. Church.
Good evening. Report for Allen Chapel, Bethlehem, Blakely, Georgia. Donaldsonville West District, Elder Kenny Cody, Pastor John North. Fund raised this year, $11,313. Members on roll, active, 15. Have met all obligations this year. His church is fully insured. Have had a spirit-filled year teaching the Word of God. We're praying for a better conference year this year. Thank you.
Bishop Reginald T. Jackson, Episcopal Supervisor Christy Davis Jackson, Host Presiding Elder Patrick Brinson, Associate Presiding Elders J.C. Roberts and Kenneth Cody, pastors, delegates, laity, missionaries, members of the Board of Examiners, members and friends of the 109th session of the South Georgia Annual Conference. I am Reverend Alicia Williams, pastor of Cedar Springs A.M.E. Church in the city of Wickham, Georgia, on the Donaldsonville West District. Bishop Jackson, I am truly thankful for the opportunity to serve as pastor of Cedar Springs A.M.E. Church for the 2020-2021 conference year. Our annual report is as read. Number of conversions, 0. Number of baptisms, 0. Number of accessions, 0. Members on roll, 34. Active members, 24. Funds raised this conference year, $11,314. We're getting back on track with being able to pay all of our assessments and our pastor regularly. All properties are insured for Cedar Springs. We do have a current indebtedness of $3,910. To God, we give all the glory for keeping us through a challenging year. Several members of the congregation was directly affected by COVID. However, we have been able to overcome and recover through it all. In spite of it all, Cedar Springs assumed a united front and embraced the virtual and teleconference services during the time of the church closure. Cedar Springs has been fortunate enough to reopen the sanctuary and has continued to utilize teleconferencing concurrently to ensure those members who have been unable to return to the sanctuary can still attend services. We have further incorporated a joint Bible study with Bethel Branchville via teleconferencing. In closing, I am thankful for the tenacity in which the congregants of Cedar Springs has exemplified during these challenging times. We have seen and witnessed that God is truly a healer and a way maker. Thank you, Bishop Jackson and Presiding Elder Cody, for the opportunity to serve Cedar Springs. Now we'll ask for some words from our delegate.
Mitra. I'm tired of the delegate of Cedar Springs A.M.E. Church. I would love for us to have our pastor back. We love our pastor. We enjoy her and all that she does for us. And we would love you to send her back. Thank you.
We thank you for the opportunity to have to allow us to give our report. This concludes our annual conference report for Cedar Springs. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Greetings in the mighty and matchless name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, the Son of the living God, to the most honorable White Reverend Reginald T. Jackson, presiding, related to this Episcopal District, to our most distinguished and honorable Mr. Supervisor, Ms. Christy Davis Jackson, to the host presiding elder, Patrick Brinson, associate presiding elders, J.C. Roberts and Reverend Jan Cody, to all of the pastors, to delegates, laity, missionaries, library leaders, members of the Board of Examiners, friends of this 109th session, South Georgia Annual Conference. Please, in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, thankful Bishop to have this opportunity to make this report at St. James A.M.E. Church in Nashville. Number of conversions, 0. Number of baptisms, 0. Number of sessions, 0. Number on roll, 25. Raised to $15,200 this year. Our insurance is valued at $100,000. we are happy with the work that we are pursuing and conducting at St. James Neighborhood Church in Nashville. At present, we are working on restructuring, and we are thankful for the work God has allowed us to do there. Pray our continued strength by grace of the Lord. Thank you so much.
A.M.E. Church Annual Conference Report. Bishop Reverend T. Jackson, Episcopal Supervisor, Christy Davis Jackson, Host Presiding Elder, Patrick Brinson, Associate Presiding Elder, J.C. Roberts and Kenneth Cody, pastors, delegates, laity, missionaries, members of the Board of Examiners, members and friends of the 109th section of the South Georgia Annual Conference. I am Reverend Chandra Moore, Supply Pastor of Pleasant Grove A.M.E. Church in the city of Lakely, Georgia, on the Donaldsonville West District. Number of conversions, 0. Number of baptisms, 0. Number of accessions, 0. Members on the roll, 5. 1 member is in care facility, 1 member is homebound, 1 member has moved to Maryland. Fundraised this conference year, $12,697. Pastor is being paid regularly, yes, $375. All property insured, yes, $300,000. All obligation has been paid. At this time, Pleasant Grove A.M.E. Church is attempting to pay their obligations. Do they have a mortgage? No. In closing, I thank God for the experience that I received at Pleasant Grove A.M.E. Church.
The Bishop Reverend Jackson is Episcopal Supervisor Christy Davis Jackson, Host Presiding Patrick Brinson, Associate Presiding Elder J.C. Roberts, and Master Presiding Elder Kenneth Cody, pastors, delegates, laity, missionaries, members of the Board of Examiners, members and visitors of the 109th section of the South Georgia Annual Conference. I am Reverend Kenneth Jackson, pastor of St. Stephen A.M.E. Church from Bainbridge, Georgia, on the Donaldsonville West District. Bishop Jackson, I am thankful for the opportunity to serve as pastor of the St. Stephen A.M.E. Church for the 2020-2021 conference year. Number of conversions, 0. Number of baptisms, 0. Number of accessions, 0. Members on roll, 5. Active members, 5. Fundraised this conference year, see report. Pastor is being paid regularly. All properties is in the process of being insured. We have met all our obligations. We do not have a mortgage. Bishop Jackson, I would like to say that in closing, it has been a great pleasure to serve the members of St. Stephen A.M.E. Church and also the community of Faithville. I am blessed to be in fellowship with people of great faith and determination. Even during the pandemic, they have pressed forward and have not quit. I am impressed with their will, power, and their faith in Jesus Christ. This is my pastor report, Pastor Alicia.
Bishop Reginald T. Jackson, Episcopal Supervisor Kristen Davis Jackson, Host Presiding Elder Patrick Brunson, Associate Presiding Elder J.C. Roberts, pastors, delegates, laity, missionaries, members of the Board of Examiners, members and friends of the 109th session of the South Georgia Annual Conference. I am presiding elder Kenneth Cody. I have been supplying the Oak Grove A.M.E. Church since the end of August, and it has been a blessing getting to know this church family. When I reached out to them as pastor, we discussed the well-being of the congregation and the reopening of the church. However, due to vandalism, we had to scale back our reopening plans. I believe Oak Grove is now ready to reopen. Number of conversions, 0. Number of baptisms, 0. Number of accessions, 0. Oak Grove has 13 members on roll, 7 active members, 6 adults, and 1 youth. We had 1 death in the family. Funds raised $6,000. The church has $2,000 in the bank. The property is insured for $350,000. The church does not have a mortgage. Bishop Jackson, I am thankful for the opportunity to supply this church. This concludes our report.
To Bishop Reginald T. Jackson, Episcopal Supervisor Christy Davis Jackson, Host Presiding Elder Patrick Brinson, Associate Presiding Elders J.C. Roberts and Kenneth Cody, pastors, delegates, laity, missionaries, members of the Board of Examiners, members and friends of the 109th session of the South Georgia Annual Conference. I am Reverend Alicia Williams, pastor of Bethel Branchville A.M.E. Church in the city of Camilla, Georgia, on the Donaldsonville West District. Bishop Jackson, I am thankful and honored for the opportunity to serve as pastor of the Bethel Branchville Church for the 2020-2021 conference year. Number of conversions, 0. Number of baptisms, 0. Number of accessions, 0. Members on the roll, 12. Active members, 5. Funds raised this conference year, $12,750. Pastors being paid regularly. All properties are insured for Bethel, Branchville, and all obligations have been paid. In spite of COVID and church closures during the time of the pandemic, Bethel has taken it all in full stride and embraced the opportunity to think outside of the box in effort to continue our services and annual programming. Bethel embraced the virtual and teleconferencing opportunities in effort for us to continue our services, church school, and continue participating in activities on the Donaldsonville West District without flaw. We have further incorporated Bible study as part of our worship experience as well through teleconferencing. We had a soul-stirring choir anniversary, which was conducted via teleconferencing and had an amazing time in fellowship. Bethel has been so gracious in collaborating with Cedar Springs, the other church in which I pastored, and we have been able to fellowship together for the first time each Sunday of worship since I have had the privilege of pastoring both of these congregations. In closing, God has truly been good to us, and I am forever grateful to serve as pastor here at Bethel Branchville, and grateful to you, Bishop Jackson, for the privilege to serve such a dynamic and resourceful congregation of disciples. Thank you, and this concludes our report for the 2020-2021 conference year.
As delegate for the Bethel Branchville, I would just like to say that
speaking for all, we love our pastor. She is a joy to be around and to be with. We, the members of Bethel, would love for you to send her back to us so that we can finish all the work that we have planned and finish doing God's work. That's it.
Amen. Thank you for allowing us to present our report for Bethel Grangeville.
They done? All right. Let's give the Donaldsonville West District a hand. All of the ministers and members of the Donaldsonville West District, will you please stand? On behalf of the African Methodist Episcopal Church, let me thank you for your faithfulness and your support of the ministry and mission of the African Methodist Episcopal Church. Without your faithfulness and your support, we will not be able to be about the mission of the A.M.E. Church connectionally. And I do realize that oftentimes it is a sacrifice and sometimes places a burden on the local churches. And I want you to know that this bishop does not take for granted the sacrifice that you make. So on behalf of the African Methodist Episcopal Church in the 6th Episcopal District, I want to thank the presiding elder, the ministers, and the congregants of the Donaldsonville West District for all that you do. Thank you so very much. Give them a hand. All right, can we have a little light? All right, I guess it's coming. Yes, sir. Oh, my brothers and my sisters, this here is the Reverend Dr. Kevin Moore, the pastor of St. Paul Church in Macon, Georgia. He has come to register his presence at this conference, and I love the way he registers. And you can come and register as many times as you want. Thank you so much, my friend. God bless you. All right. Now, my sisters, my brothers, all right. Now, sister, brother, we have been moving right on schedule here. Right on schedule. Now, we are 1/2 hour ahead of time, so that's what I'm going to do. The Committee on the State of the Church, are y'all ready to report? Who's the chair of the State of the Church? She going to get him? All right, go get him. All right, is the State of the Country, who's the chair of the State of the Country? Who's the chair of the State of the Country?
You said state of the church or state of the country?
Which one you got, Reverend
State
Yarborough?
of the church.
You ready?
Yes.
We're going to have the state of the church. We're going to find out what kind of state we in. All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. To Bishop Jackson and the Episcopal Supervisor, Christy Davis Jackson, presiding elders, pastors, board of examiners, delegates, alternates, missionaries, laity, visitors, and friends of the 109th session of the South Georgia Annual Conference. We find ourselves in a storm with a global coronavirus pandemic and a divided America based on political parties and racism. This pandemic has claimed the lives of over 512,000 Americans, and it has changed the way pastors are delivering their sermons. Pastors are and must continue to reach beyond the walls of the church buildings by relying on technology to get their messages to their congregations. As Americans, we find ourselves in a type of civil war. George Floyd, a 46-year-old black man, was murdered by a Minneapolis police officer on May the 25th, 2020. Mr. Floyd died while handcuffed, begging for his life and repeatedly saying, "I can't breathe." His death quickly reminded us of the death of countless others: Michael Brown, Eric Gardner, Breonna Taylor, Freddie Gray, and too many others. We are seeing a hate that cannot be associated with just mankind, but also the root of hate, the devil himself. The fire energy of racial and social oppression, economical oppression, political division, the pandemic, and a former president who still wants to be the divider in chief with a base following of over 7 million people. We cannot blink nor turn around. We must move on to the promised land. The moral, cultural, and intellectual base of America has changed. The COVID-19 pandemic has changed and shifted our country, the world, and the life experiences of its people. We have seen the best and the worst of what slavery did 400 years ago in the rise to the surface to ask for a new day. Yes, all lives matter, and Black lives matter. Record numbers of Americans cast their ballots with nearly 160 million people, and thanks to God, African Americans voted at record numbers across the nation and the wonderful state of Georgia. The 6th Episcopal District helped to determine the outcomes of the 2020 presidential election and Georgia's senatorial elections with the help and support of our great Bishop Reginald Jackson and the likes of Stacey Abrams. However, it shows despite all the riots and even the brutal assaults on the nation's capital, we still had a crossing of the desert to the promised land of equality. We, your committee on the state of the church, report that some of our church doors are still closed. Others are having service in various ways via Zoom, conference call, Facebook, live streaming, outdoor services, and etc. The gospel of Christ is still being preached and changing the lives of those who hear the word and become disciples of Christ. Thanks to our chief pastor, Bishop Reginald T. Jackson, presiding elders, and pastors of the 6th Episcopal District, the Great Commission of Christ proclaiming church is still, as it is in Matthew 28th chapter, is still being fulfilled. We thank God that the old Pharaoh of 2016-2020 is gone. We have a new Joseph that will lead the nation to a higher standard. We praise God for the awesome placement of the first African-American female vice president in the person of Vice President Kamala Harris. Now, where do we go from here? We, the Committee on the State of the Church, offer 3 recommendations. Number 1, remain steadfast and unmovable in spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ, that it may accomplish all that we cannot in our Lord's church. Number 2, increase the focus on our 4 priorities: church growth, Christian education, handling money God's way, and social justice. And then number 3, improve health consciousness to live in this new normal and possible new pandemic. The African Methodist Episcopal Church has been in existence for over 200 years, sustained by the Spirit of God. We must continue to believe and commit to God to resolve the plagues of social injustice, inequalities, pandemics, and all the challenges we face in the body of Christ. God did not bring us this far to leave us. Respectfully submitted, the State of the Church committed, Reverends Timothy Lewis, Renee Theophil, Anthony Yarbrough, and Brother Gary Frederick. Thank you, Bishop.
Thank you so much, Reverend Yarborough, and members of the committee, for this wonderful report on the state of the church. And while we're at it, let me again say I want to absolutely thank the 6th Episcopal District and the South Georgia Conference for all that you did during this past year. We did a Herculean job on the census. Then we did a Herculean job on the general election, another Herculean job on the runoff. And the A.M.E. Church has made its presence known in the state of Georgia, and it's my prayer that we will not let it slip away. I remind people, you determine how people treat you. And so I think they now have to treat us with respect, but let us make sure that we earn all that we do, and I just hope we'll keep on making a difference. I've been kind of divided during this conference because today they've been voting in Atlanta on trying to change the voting laws in Georgia. And 1 o'clock I did a interview with the New York Times on it, and it just shows, and I make no apology for the fact that I just say the Republicans in this state have shown that they're racist. If they had won the election, there would not be a single voting bill submitted in this legislature. The only reason they're putting in all these bills is because they lost. When the laws worked for them, they were fine. When they started working for us, all of a sudden they became bad. And so it just means we have a lot more work to do. But again, Reverend Yarbrough, thank y'all for a wonderful report.
Thank you, Bishop.
Give them a hand. All right. Is the Christian education report ready? Is Reverend Green here? All right, church growth. Who was that? All right. All right. Is all right. State of the country ready? Social action ready? All right. All right. Mission circuits and stations? All right. And in defense of them, they're not supposed to be ready till tomorrow. I'm just trying to. All right. All right, we will stop now. Let me ask following people, see Ms. Brown, the following persons I want to see. All right. Reverend Perry. How you feeling? All right, I want to see you after this session. Come up and see Ms. Brown. Reverend Perry, Reverend Daniels, all right. Oh, Reverend Yarborough. Y'all see Ms. Brown, she gonna arrange for y'all to see me in between this break. All right. Tonight is the Women in Ministry. Who's preaching tonight?
Dr. Knight.
Dr. Knight, is there a word from the Lord? All right. So at 7 o'clock tonight for the Women in Ministry, Dr. Knight's gonna preach, and we're gonna be here to support her and encourage her.